Wait, it's just me? Where is everybody? Come on, let's get on the show. It's Monday. Hey, everyone. Look who's all here. How's it going? It's Monday, and I'm like Alan. I slept really good Saturday night because our big awards event, Film Threats annual event, where we celebrate indie film, was Saturday. It'll be on YouTube tonight. There's a red carpet at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and you can watch the show a half hour later. It's the 7th annual award this event, and the only award show anyone can buy a ticket for. You can watch it tonight. Alan has maybe the second funniest line of the night.
I think I had the first and the second.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And thanks for choosing the picture that barely has me cropped in.
I'm at the bottom, super tiny. You can barely see me. That's all the filmmakers at the end of the show. It's really amazing. But let's actually say hi to everybody here, because I'm not set at the moment. It was a long weekend, so my apologies in advance. But it is the biggest night
of independent film for independent.
Yes, it's the biggest night. So after this show, please watch it. Please watch it. Well, let's say hi to everyone here who's joining.
Hey, what's up, guys? Dante from Rebel Riot, and sorry I couldn't be at award this to yell "Ice Out."
Steph, my nerdy home. Wonder Man was.
What?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. What is Marvel thinking not having a Doomsday Super Bowl trailer? That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, ice out. You always get more liquid in your drink if you don't get ice. Sorry I wasn't there. But I'm glad for Wonder Man, and I'm glad for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because we do not live in an echo chamber, and we'll be talking about it. Very different opinions.
I'm Elaine at Nerd Cookies, and I'm enjoying Starfleet Academy. I haven't seen a single episode, but the reviews on YouTube are quite entertaining.
You scared me.
Yeah, Alan Ing Film Thread. Yeah, hey, but I am enjoying Starfleet Academy because they could destroy it even more, and I'm anticipating how they do it.
All right, so let's get into it really quickly with the box office. Let's go, Alan. What are we looking at? A couple things worth pointing out too.
Hey, by the way, big night for indie films over the weekend. Not this, but that. There we go. Yeah, coming in number one, not completely by surprise. Send Help comes in with 20 million. But then we have two indie films coming up: Iron Lung from a YouTuber Markiplier, and then Melania, though bought by Amazon, hardly a big studio film. And then we have the big studio films: Zootopia, Shelter, Avatar, Fire and Ass, Mercy, The Housemaid, Marty Supreme, and Return to Silent Hill.
Well, here's the thing. Iron Lung coming in at number 2 is an indie movie, which I just did not have time to see it schedule-wise. I will go see it this week. I'll have a review on Friday. I've also, I'm going to go see Melania. I have thoughts even before I've seen it. A lot of people seem to have thoughts before they've seen it. Surprising, biggest documentary in a decade, 8 million for Melania. Send Help, no surprise. But this indie film, Iron Lung, I'm told it's much like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's for the fans, and that's great. And we'll probably see chains like Regal and AMC embrace more movies like this, or the Terrifier series with Art the Clown. What's the takeaway here from box office? I mean, it is a January weekend still.
I'm super happy for Markiplier and his Iron Lung film, self-funded, self-distributed, self-marketed. It's huge milestone for him, and he's one of my favorite streamers. He's hugely entertaining, so yeah, I'm very happy for him. This did so well.
Yeah.
I
My
mean,
nieces and
I've never
nephews-
heard of
Yeah.
Markiplier.
Yeah, my nieces
But
and nephews
the thing
watch
is,
it.
there is a market for YouTubers, for very popular YouTubers too. Whatever you do, you've already built your fan base, and they're going to come out. And good for him, good for the movie theaters. And I hope I think in the next year or so, indie films are going to be a big part of the box office. We'll be talking about that a lot in the near future.
Yeah, my nieces and nephews are really big fans of Markiplier. I don't know if they went and saw this movie, but they know who it is. I know who he is. I've watched a couple of his streams, but I don't watch him like religiously or anything like that. But that is interesting. It's good for him that his movie did so well. And I'm wondering if like now after this, you've seen what's his name, Chris Stuckman get into Hollywood. Now Markiplier. Now Jacksepticeye is set to direct a movie as well. Mr. Beast is commenting on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's like all of these YouTubers that you don't necessarily see talking about Hollywood, with the exception of Chris Stuckman, are now like getting into Hollywood. All these doors are now like open for YouTubers to start doing more of this. So I'm wondering how many more announcements we're going to get and how many more YouTubers are going to like dip their toe into film.
It's insane the amount of YouTubers who have millions and millions of followers, and I've just never heard of them. No offense to Markiplier.
But that's okay. If you YouTube, you can use YouTube like a social media platform. He had an audience. He made a movie, scaled the budget to that audience. I think it's a huge win. The reviews, irrelevant. Reviews don't matter. The money speaks. The audience liked it enough to come out in droves.
What was his budget? 3 million, and he made.
Yeah, he's made.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, I never saw a single bit of advertising for this, so there was probably little to no marketing budget behind it
on his YouTube channel. I think.
Yeah,
is all I saw.
Yep.
So cater to your fans and respect your own source material, and do things under a budget.
And he's really passionate. He's hugely, immensely entertaining. He's actually made. It's called Into Space with Markiplier and The Heist. He's made like these really good productions. They're like choose your own adventures on YouTube. You can go through a playlist and choose whatever choice you want Markiplier to go. It's really cool, very well done and immensely entertaining. So this seemed like, I guess, the next step for him in his foray into making movies. But this was clearly something he had some familiarity with, and so yeah, this is very exciting for him.
Is it any good? Has anybody seen it or heard anybody talk about it? Is it a good movie?
No, this came out of the blue. We didn't know about it. There were no press screenings. We normally, Alan and I, one of us would get a press release, get invited to a screening, or we would be offered a screening link to see it in advance. And then, we'd time the coverage to the release. That's the normal way of doing things. This isn't normal. It doesn't matter. Terrifier, we barely hear about Terrifier. Just, I'll see it in the app for AMC to buy a ticket. This movie was like that. I knew nothing about it. So, but I do plan to see it this week before it's out of theaters. Although I would hope it would stay in theaters. So, Latino Slant, Paulie from Latino Slant, shout out to him. He was at he was at our award this event on
that Saturday. Ratio makes me want to go see it.
But exactly. Critics 50%, 89% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. That says a lot.
Yeah. And this is such an indie film. There's not even an image banner on the top of the Rotten Tomatoes review.
I mean, the game itself is very niche. It's very it takes place in a very small setting within that submarine. And that might not be for everyone either. It's very claustrophobic and it may feel drawn out. And yeah, the game itself is very different, and it's very cosmic mystery and not actiony, very actiony. So I don't know if it would suit mainstream audiences that well, especially if you don't know the game at all or who Markiplier is. Maybe off-putting if you don't know what to expect. But yeah, if you're a fan of Iron Lung to begin with, or Markiplier, I think you would enjoy it. And
from the name alone,
didn't get to see it, but
I thought it was something very different when I heard Iron Lung. I didn't realize it was based on a game in a sub underwater with, Glad he's making money.
You thought was that like a medical movie or something?
Something iron lung, yeah, some sort of fighting thing. I don't know.
Yeah. So should we expect a nerdrotic feature coming up anytime soon?
I don't think Nerdrotic. I don't think Gary's gonna review it. I really don't.
No, he's gonna make a movie.
Is Gary gonna make a movie?
Yeah, Film Threat movie win. Film Threat
Probably.
presents.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we hit 1 million subscribers, we'll make a movie.
Yeah, I don't know that we have the real subscriber count. But before we let's pivot from box office and
blood. Sorry.
talk about the thing everybody's talking about. No, it's not Wonder Man. Michael. A new trailer dropped.
Oh, I saw that, but I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Let's watch it. It's I've seen the trailer. I couldn't resist it, and having watched the Grammys last night, which was I mean, I think
obnoxious.
It's kind of call it like a shit show. Like Lady Gaga, who I'm familiar with, wore a suit that looked like she had a bird cage on her head. I mean, it's like and all the red carpet stuff. Everyone just come to the show naked. I mean, do you need just put electrical tape over your naughty bits and come naked to the Grammys?
Please.
Michael Jackson was a performer that united everyone. Everyone was familiar with his music, and let's just watch the trailer. And we're
Chris, by the way, be careful, man. I got copyright claimed.
You got claimed?
Yeah. I made a video this
Michael
morning,
Jackson.
and they
Claimed
claimed
or a
me
strike?
like right away.
Like
Claimed.
a strike?
No, it was a claim.
Should we even play this then?
You're going to
Cut
get
it out.
claimed. Trust me.
You can dispute a claim.
Okay, we'll just all right, Lori. You know what to do. Here we go. This subject, you could do a series,
I know.
Oh,
not
yeah.
just a movie.
I
But you
agree.
could do a series over
Oh,
this.
yeah.
I mean, you could just break his life down into at least 4 chapters.
Well,
Yeah, I
it is
mean-
a part 1, right? Is it?
This is
Is
part 1. Yeah, there's a second
Mhm.
part coming after this.
Yeah, it's his early days. I was a huge fan of the Jackson 5. I watched the Saturday morning cartoon. I remember seeing Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 on American Bandstand. I had the little 45s with Motown on it. I wore those out. Like, I was a fan. I was in the Jackson 5 fan club, which was a real thing. You could send like 75 cents or what. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just, what an a-hole their dad was.
And that he probably
Yeah,
chemically
man.
castrated Michael to keep him sounding like that.
I mean, there's crazy stories about him. Like, so anyways, here we go. But
Oh, yeah,
Coleman Domingo,
he was a
Coleman Domingo.
monster, man. But look, I mean,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
right?
but hey, look what he got. So I guess it's all right.
yeah,
Technically,
no,
we
I'm not
don't
saying
have
it's all right.
Michael
I'm just
Jackson.
saying,
Devices
look,
had to be made so we could have great
it
entertainment.
sucks, man. But this
Yeah.
guy was a steel mill worker, and he
Wanna be a
took his
legend?
family from the slums to international
Gary,
stardom. man.
Indiana.
Yeah,
Gary,
I mean,
Indiana.
it's look.
The thing
he-
is, Michael died way too young too.
yeah.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got Michael Jackson, but we didn't get Michael Jackson.
The actor is amazing. Looks amazing in the role. It's his nephew, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
Oh, that's his nephew?
yeah, Jafar
looks
Jackson.
just
I
like
think
him,
his name is.
sounds just like that's
Wow.
awesome.
But let's what I have some thoughts. Let's finish it.
I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to clean up at the box office, man.
Yeah,
All over the world.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. He's this performer that united everyone. Everyone,
He was like,
young.
he was
old.
like the king of.
He was
pop.
like that term is not an exaggeration, and it made me sad. I watched the Grammys last night, and hey, Epic Mike, thanks for joining.
Hey, sorry I'm late. I'm terrible
worries,
with time
man.
zones.
It's all good. But like watching the Grammys, it was like, what performer unites everyone? Everything's so political. I hope they get into in Michael how like they grew up in Gary, Indiana on stolen land. Just all the divisive comments at the Grammys and like
Conquered
some of these
land.
people, like I've never heard of this person. I've never heard of like it's just, and not just because I'm probably out of the loop on pop culture, pop music, but there isn't pop music that hits the way Michael Jackson hit.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Everybody knew who Michael was, no matter what age they were. You could have been 70 years old and you knew who Michael Jackson was, right? I mean, the closest thing we have, I think, as far as you brought up who at the Grammys could be like unifying, the closest artist I could think of might be Bruno Mars, where I think he doesn't get political and generally everybody kind of likes his music for the most part, but not even close to the level of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was worldwide, man. And the crazy thing about Michael is he's been in the zeitgeist for so long, right? I mean, as a little kid, we knew who he was. Up until the point where he died, he was still relevant. There was no artist like him. Like, there's not.
Yeah.
I think Bruno Mars is accurate, but he's also kind of borrowing from Michael and what makes Michael, you know, it's like everybody that we see now is copying the guy that did it at the biggest level, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I think the only other person like in the zeitgeist maybe would have been Elvis, but I don't even think Elvis really comes close to Michael. Like, it's just
no.
Yeah. It's funny because like my kids, when they started getting into Michael Jackson, they're like, oh, he seems kind of cool. Like, was he pretty famous? This man was arguably the most famous man on the planet. It had women passing out at concerts because he just stood there, like, you know, it was wild, man.
One hit album after another.
He went beyond it. And anecdotally, here's a weird thing to the name Michael. Do you realize how many people I know from Michigan with the name Michael? That name became huge. Just that name.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So Michael Jackson's influence was huge. And I don't know. I can't wait. I think it'll be, along with Project Hail Mary in March, I think those are going to be two of the biggest movies of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, in fact, I
you
think
can't think of anybody, you know, that even comes close to Michael. He let his talent speak for itself, his performance. That's what he was passionate about. Nowadays, the reason you're just like, I don't know any of these people, they just like come and go so quickly, is because they don't lead with their talent. They lead with branding. That's what's most important to them, is branding. Are you a brandable person? Do you have the right talking points? Do you have the right politics? Do you have the right this and that? It's all about branding to them. So if you lead with that, it's not going to be a long career.
By the way, how dare you, Steph? Elvis, because yes, thanks. I was going to say Elvis too. Elvis, literally the king.
I'm talking about now, performers.
You
now
can still put out Elvis.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, Michael Jackson only had a MySpace page.
Yeah. And Elvis is still alive, so obviously.
You did?
No, he didn't. No, but can you imagine a world with Michael Jackson and social media?
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that would be wild.
No. My new Jesus juice.
Yeah. I got another monkey, everybody. Isn't that cool?
I don't know. I'm so glad we didn't see him in the social media age. It would have diminished him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I think this movie might be like
Britney Spears.
I think this movie might be like the dark horse as far as box office goes this year. I mean, we're looking at Dune, Doomsday, all these other big films. I think this one might sneak in and like probably be one of the biggest of the year.
I think it's top 5 of the year. Easy top 5.
Yeah. Notice it's Lionsgate, but Universal finally stepped in and put their logo on a Lionsgate movie.
I'm more interested in the second part, actually, because that's where all the juice happens.
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Antoine Fuqua stepping in too.
Yeah. When does he become white? Like, it's post Pepsi commercial. I'm kidding, but not kidding.
No,
it's
you're
post
right.
Pepsi commercial, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It ends on his hair going on fire.
But it's not because of the burns. It's because of, I think his vitiligo kicked in pretty hard after.
Okay, that's what they say. I think he had some sort of body dysmorphia, and he made himself look more and more like his sister with the, because you can't explain all the girlification shit of his face.
Oh no, there was more to it than that. But
yeah, I mean,
know
he
the
admitted
vitiligo had a big part of it.
Yeah, he admitted that he had a nose job so he could keep hitting higher notes and things. But like, he was already dealing with the vitiligo, and then when the burns happened, it got harder to hide it. And then, he just kind of was like, you know what, I don't want to look weird, so I'm just gonna go all the way one way or another.
Just bleached it or whatever they did.
Then he got a doctor who would just prescribe him whatever he wanted.
Very sad.
Propofol.
I mean, dude, the guy was stuck as a little kid his whole life, you know, and not to knock him, it was from his upbringing, but when you hear all the stories about him, they're like, yeah, he was just like a big kid all the time. So
medically, he might have been a kid. Like, that was the thing, that the dad had chemically castrated him to keep him sounding like that. It's like a castrato, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Jackson was a monster, and I hope that they don't. By the way, I got to say, Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson That is inspired casting, dude. Like that was some of the best casting I've seen in a movie in a very long time.
Yeah,
like
give him the Oscar now.
Just give it to him, dude. I mean, like you can't get any better than that.
We finally see Coleman Domingo in an afro.
But no, Joe Jackson was a monster, man. He was a terrible human being, a terrible father, but you know,
tyrants build empires, and look,
he did
we're
what
still
he had
talking
to
about
do
Michael.
to get his family out of the ghetto. You know, I mean, it's
hey,
make an omelet.
Let's pivot and talk about a couple TV shows, starting with Wonder Man. For those that have seen Wonder Man, all 8 episodes dropped on Disney Plus last week, and I think collectively we could probably all agree it's no Ironheart. It's not a disaster. It's not embarrassing. It's no Echo, but it's not going to save the MCU. Alan and I did our review, but I want to hear what you guys think and where you guys would rank this. And ultimately, I think it kind of came out and it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I personally liked it because it was a lot about the industry. It was like the studio on Apple, but this is for actors. I like the inside baseball aspect of it. I like the locations in LA. I think the best episode is episode 4 with the Ding Dong. You'll know if you've seen it. That was very funny. I like Josh Gad going away forever. And it was clever in parts, but ultimately you're not going to see it again. It doesn't add anything. There's no lore. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts for those that saw it.
I mean, my thoughts are, I mean, it was a good show. It wasn't Wonder Man. It wasn't Wonder Man. Let's just be real here. That was not Simon Williams, but it was well acted, well cast. I love the chemistry between Ben Kingsley and Yahya. I can't remember his last name. But I think that their chemistry was great. I think the writing was clever, and it's crazy to say that about a Disney Plus show. But it was, and it was a decent. The problem is that it was a decent show, but it's too late, right? Like it just doesn't matter. It was like you said, it's not going to save them. It's not going to mean anything. I think the fact that they dropped it all in one shows, they had no confidence in it whatsoever.
No faith. Yeah.
Like this show was good by accident. It feels like, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Marvel hadn't been bad for 5 years straight, we may have accepted the show as something better than what it was.
You drop this at any point in time in the MCU, any other, the first 3, phases, and it probably comes off a lot better. The thing I'm pissed off is that Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a great actor, and they wasted him in just throwaway roles. Like, why don't you put him in the MCU and actually do something with him? He's a great actor. He should probably be, Blue Marvel or somebody instead of, just saying, all right, we're doing a race swap Wonder Man, and we're going to throw him in there. And then this isn't even a superhero show. Yep. This is a show about actors. And it's like, why are you doing this with this great actor who possibly could have been a great superhero? That's the thing that kind of pissed me off the most about it. I thought the show, acting wise, the 2 leads played off each other very well. They're the reason to watch the show. The damage control, the Department of Damage Control's plot line was stupid. When you think about it more than 5 seconds, it starts to fall apart immediately because it's like, why is this guy not being arrested? We got to get something on him. No, go arrest him. He's a danger to everybody. Okay, go arrest him. Do it now. So I just didn't understand the plot line at all. Outside of like I said, the 2 leads, I think they did a really good job.
I thought it was fine. And I think that it's just because we've been given so much crap from Marvel that this is like, oh, this is probably the best out of like all of the blah stuff that we've had. It's like, it's good blah. It's good blah. It's not great. It's not fantastic. It's good blah. I think that Ben Kingsley really made the film. I think that how do you say his name? Yahya
Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah, I think he's a great actor. Unfortunately, this show gives him nothing because acting next to Ben Kingsley, like his character, his acting is just, it's not good when you act against Ben Kingsley. He made the show. Take him out. He's the only reason I kept watching it because I actually liked his acting. I liked everything with Trevor Slattery. Like that was the only reason that I continue to watch it, because other than that, it was boring. It was boring. It was bland. I didn't like it. The character of Simon is boring. Honestly, like the character is boring without Trevor. Like take him out and he's just a boring character. And I think that it's just the way that it was written, the lines that he was given, the things that I guess he was told to do. It's just not good. I don't know if he wasn't given like good direction or what, but everything is just so bland when it comes to that character. He is hiding something. He's wanting to achieve something. And you just don't see that. You don't see that enough of it. And I don't know. I wanted like more. The camaraderie between them really hinges on Ben Kingsley's like acting. That's what it is. Like you get that because of his acting, and he really did make the show, and he carried the show, but one actor can't carry the entire show. And I think that's why it was so just bland to me, because everybody else around that Trevor Slattery character is just completely subpar and so boring. Take him out and it's just a really crappy show that I probably wouldn't have continued watching past episode 2.
Well, the reason why he was so bland is because, again, that wasn't Wonder Man. Simon Williams in the comic book is an asshole. He is an asshole. He is arrogant. He's pompous. He, even amongst the other Avengers, you know, he rubs people the wrong way. And we never got that Simon Williams, right? We actually
did, though.
I think he kind of was an asshole in this.
No, but not in the way that he is in the comic, though.
His very first scene, you know, when he's just the actor, the extra that's supposed to have like 1 or 2 lines and then leave.
Yep.
Right. And you see him like doing, oh, can I get this? Can I get this? Like he's arrogant. He's pompous. Like this is his thing. He thinks that he's better than everyone, knows better than the writers. And they're just like, you know what? I think you should just leave. Give me more. That was interesting. I was like, okay, we're gonna get some of that. Like he thinks that he's.
But he wasn't.
Don't get any more of that. It's just kind of like.
Yeah, the difference is this Simon Williams, he's an asshole. He's the asshole artist. While Simon Williams in the comics
he's Henry Cavill
arrogant
on the set of The Witcher. He's Ian McKellen on this. He gave a shit about the production. I love Simon Williams. So I'll put air quote. I get it. He's not white. He's not the character. The Simon Williams Wonder Man character in this is a fucking fictional Flash Gordon character. So this is this version, like Starbuck is their version in Battlestar. So that aside, I thought it was great. I thought his acting was excellent. And the two of them, him and Sir Ben Kingsley, were excellent in their dynamic together. And I didn't give a shit about this character before. From the very jump, I started caring about him and proving his father wrong. I'm gonna tag Mike in because I think we'll see what he says.
I already knew why Chris asked me to come on because I was talking about this already. I really like this show.
Oh, good, thank God.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it this way. I have said this for years. I do not like the MCU and the direction it's going, but if they do something right, I'm gonna give them the credit for it. Correct. And they did a great job with this show. I think this show could have. I would say it this way. I think the show could have been better not being attached to the MCU, but because of the way the ending happens, it has to be connected to the MCU. And to be honest, that payoff at the end of the MCU was what I really enjoyed about the show. I thought it paid off in a really cool way. I also, if you would have told me 6 months ago that Marvel pumped out a show with Trevor Slattery in it, and by the end I would have enjoyed Trevor as a character,
a full realized character. Now
I would have laughed in your face and said, "Don't ever speak to me again." I would have blocked your number and never spoken to you again. But I actually, I loved Trevor in this. The payoff was really good, and from a meta standpoint, I really enjoyed the actor stuff because like. The first episode when he's on set and he's given all these things and all these rewrites and stuff like that, I'm sitting there going, bro, after the third one, I would have said, you either stop talking or you're gone. Because like having worked with people that have suggestions and thoughts about things and going, yeah, we don't really have time to talk about all of this. We need to shoot this thing because the daylight's disappearing. I was kind of like, why don't they fire this guy? And then you know, I don't know. I enjoyed all the meta commentary on acting. I also, to be honest, what hooked me in the beginning was this kid watching his favorite superhero on television.
With the father.
The fact that Wonder Man kind of exists as a different character that inspired him, and now all of a sudden he's got superhero or superpowers, and you think, cool, that should be an exciting thing for him, and it's actually not, because it's kind of getting in the way of everything else he has going on. And maybe in some other universe, like, he would have become a superhero and done things and helped people. But like for this, you know, he wanted to act and he was inspired by it. And I remember growing up watching my favorite superheroes on the big screen and being absolutely enraptured by it. So I really enjoyed it. I thought the payoff at the end was one of my favorite parts of the whole show. And I like Yaya. I liked what he did because I'm gonna be honest, I know people like him. I've met guys like him that are kind of up in their own ass and they only think about their art and stuff and can't relax. Because that's the thing I love about Trevor is he's like, bro, once you kind of get out of your head, you could be a phenomenal actor, but you think too much about this stuff, you know?
So is this like the studio? Is it
Yeah, but for actors
that?
instead of like I think Mike too. Like I was apt to see it from an actor's point of view and like your motivations and your wants and like the biggest thing about Simon is I think he just gives a shit. Yeah, he's up in his head and his own, but also he gives a shit about everything. He just wants to make his dad proud. He wants to shut his stupid fucking brother up that he's not wasting his life. And yeah, I knew it wasn't a superhero show from the beginning. Not one bit of that marketing made me think he was going to suit up and be Wonder Man. I got exactly what I was expecting in the best case with some really stellar performances and dynamics. And yeah, it is the best.
That's the problem that I had with it is that it says Marvel Studios. And if I see something made by Marvel Studios, I'm expecting superhero. I understand that they're trying to do something a little different. I get it. Fine. Can I get a superhero moment in this anywhere at all? No, I didn't get any hero moments until the very end. All right, which you can kind of say, yeah, I enjoyed the last episode. Out of all the episodes, I thought the last episode was the best because it finally felt like he was leaning into, hey, I got superpowers. I got to right some wrongs here. Let me get in here and let me get it done. I was okay with that, but it's Marvel. It's
Did you like Werewolf by Night?
I want to see superhero shit. I can watch the actors playing, you know, how I grew up and came up in the acting game and what I had to do and who I had to, you know, this and that. I can see that somewhere else. I want to see the MCU do it. And if they're going to do this, then at least make it interesting. I think that there's a good story with the premise and the actors and everything that happened. I just think they told it backwards. It probably should have started in prison and moved out of the prison. And then, you know, now you actually have a story where he has to learn how to control his powers, because that was the main thing. Like, this dude had no care about his powers. Oh, if I wreck an entire soundstage, you know what? He had no point in time learned to control himself. And that to me was a giant character flaw that they never addressed until the final episode. And I would have loved to see that as growth for this character. Hey, I'm learning how to be an actor. I'm also learning how to control my powers. I'm struggling with both. And then along comes Trevor Slattery, who can say, hey, I got some experience with superheroes and I'm a good actor. Let me show you how to get this done. And maybe they meet in prison. And then from that, now I finally understand it. Now I can act. Oh, but shit, I'm in prison. How do I do this? Well, we're going to have to break out. And then you could have turned it into an entire comedy and you could have fun with it. Instead, I'm just sitting up here watching this guy just ruin everybody else's lives around him. And I was getting pissed off the entire time.
Yeah,
like, this
and
isn't
then
a hero. I want a hero.
Yeah, and then at the end, like, you just completely skip over him being able and learning to control his powers. You just completely skip over that and go all the way to the end, to the prison, and all of a sudden he knows how to fly. I'm just like, where did that come from? Oh, he knows how to control it.
That's part of the origin story is that we love watching these heroes grow.
See,
none of that.
This is one of the things.
All of a sudden, he's just completely fine and okay with this power that he has. He doesn't have to hide it, or he still has to hide it, but he's okay with hiding it now. And now he's in full control, totally fine, totally in control of it and confident.
He mastered himself in acting, and that translated to his powers. It was pretty easy to put that together, that in the ensuing time since the movie and all of that he was able to focus.
His power was acting.
His
not
power's
since Team America has there been a superhero.
The thing is, like, there's two factors here. One, I do 100% agree. This is 5 years too late to the MCU. If Marvel really wanted to sell their next phase, this is how they should have done it. They should have taken characters and they should have given them, you know, and other actors or directors a chance to work with new characters and introduce them and see what fans think, instead of making people have to watch these shows on Disney Plus to know what's going on in the MCU. That was a huge mistake. But like, I don't know, man. I enjoy superheroes in the full gamut of superpowers, and I think superpowers can elevate like stories in an interesting way. And I like that his whole thing is not that he's excited about powers and doesn't know how to control them. It's actually just trying to hide them. And the more he tries to hide them, the more tight he gets wound and the more he can't relax and get out of his own head, which is causes things to happen. And then eventually kind of blows up his whole life, literally blows up his whole life because he couldn't just accept where he was at and just get past it and stop being so stressed out all the time about it. And I kind of like that, you know, Trevor's guidance. And then kind of at the end, Trevor goes, you know what, man? Like, I also realize I've been an arrogant asshole my whole career. So how about I step aside and let somebody else take a chance and like try to turn their life around? And to me, that was the turning point for him, was like, oh, this guy stepped up for me in a way that nobody else has ever stepped up for me before. I'm going to do right by him, you know? But I enjoyed it for what it was. No, it's not going to save the MCU. I wouldn't tell anybody to buy Disney Plus for this show, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And I kind of just miss being able to enjoy a show and watch it and not feel like I have to tie it into a bigger narrative or do, you know, homework to figure out everything else.
I didn't feel attacked.
You know, I didn't feel attacked. It wasn't screaming at the audience about what they should believe about people or anything, because it does kind of portray good acting and it portrays bad acting and it portrays arrogant, you know, insecure, selfish assholes in the industry, and also showcases like not everybody in the industry is a piece of garbage. And even sometimes something great can happen if people can work together and get out of their own way. But I don't know, man. I enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, it's not, you know, I didn't think it was the most amazing show ever written or anything. But I also think it also could have served maybe a few more episodes, and also it was very obvious Disney did not believe in this show at all.
Well, this shows the problem. The problem of the MCU, right? Like, if the MCU had always, I'm not the MCU. I'm sorry, Disney Plus.
Yeah,
it should have always been about like taking these obscure characters and like maybe doing like a short little story with them, right? Nothing with the mainstream people, because we want to keep the movies separate from the TV shows, right? And the movies can influence the TV shows, but not vice versa. So the Disney Plus MCU should have always been this. It should have always been just a series of short stories about random characters that maybe they can introduce into the movies later, but you don't have to have seen these shows to know what's going on in the movies at all, right? The MCU should have always been this way. The problem is, like we've all been saying, this show is years too late. This was a fine show. Let me just put it out there, right? Because I want people to say that I'm saying it sucks. It was a good show, good acting, story was okay. What held it together was obviously the actors, but this wasn't, you know.
Why do you think Disney didn't have any faith in it if it was good, though?
Well, again, because they don't know what's good and what isn't. Right? Like, they literally had a good show that everybody seems to generally like for the most part, and they thought it sucked. So they jumped it all at once because they have zero faith in it.
Because it doesn't preach or push any agenda that they currently think is more important. Like, it's just been a hot minute since I've watched some like a superhero project or, you know, a fantasy IP or anything that isn't screaming at me to what I'm supposed to believe or the message I'm supposed to walk away with. Because at the end of the day, like, there is kind of an ambiguity to, like, is he a good guy now? Like, he seems like it, but like also using your station as an actor to like do what he does at the very end of the movie and kind of manipulating people still kind of feels in line with how he was as a person, you know? So it's like kind of a, you know, both and situation, which I kind of like. I like that there was kind of an ending to that. I did enjoy the Department of Damage Control. I don't think they should have a big role in the MCU at all, or I don't even think they should have their own television show, frankly. I think that was
the
kind
main
of a silly
thing in Spider-Man. That's why they have to keep showing them.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, we're here and we're still around and we do get involved in things. And, you know, I just thought it was like, okay, cool. You know what? It's a little tie into things, but it isn't like some massive, huge thing. And I also think that it's kind of an indictment of, you know what he didn't really matter to them at the end of the day. What mattered to them is this guy just trying to further his career, which is kind of what everybody's trying to do in this movie until Trevor makes a decision he does at the end. You know,
this is also two different shows, and we almost lost it in 2023. They almost did a tax write-off. This was the Wonder Man show, and then they had a Trevor Slattery show, and they synced them together. So I can hear the criticism there, but that's what happened.
So does this have anything to do with Doomsday or any future film?
Nope.
Damage Control
did its own thing,
but
it didn't tie into anything else.
Look,
I
even
can see
Maybe
that. I
that's
can
why
see this
then,
being
if he wasn't going to make an appeal, I don't know.
no. The
I
thing is,
don't-
it's a story about an actor, and
Yeah.
you're trying to drag us from one episode to the next, to the next, to the next. The stakes are very low. Sure, it was good, but not good enough to say, "Hey, you have to see this next episode or this
Nope.
next episode."
It's not a
No.
it's not a must
I
watch.
could-
It's this is good and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
It's
I could
different
see
than
it being
Echo.
like a
I just
Wonder
don't
Man
understand why
show.
they're treating it the same.
I could see it being a Wonder Man show and a Trevor Slattery show mixed in one because the character of Trevor Slattery was really, really good. I loved his character. I didn't think I would. I was just like, are you kidding? The Mandarin's back? No way. There's no way. And I enjoyed him more than I thought I would. Like, I really, really liked his character. Also, did anyone notice that everybody that works in Hollywood is like a woman? Like all the high-ranking people, they're all women. So like women run.
I did
run
notice that
Hollywood.
part. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all
That's
Hollywood people are
accurate.
all
That's
women.
satire,
So
or
it's
is
So
accurate.
that's kind of how it
It's
is right
not
now.
satire. It's kind of like been a
It's
lot of
all
women.
women.
Reality.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
look,
all
when
women.
the Mandarin came back, that was pretty awesome. When he came back, or he
Yeah.
re-
I didn't
emerged.
want to spoil that because I wasn't trying.
Oh,
that-
I'm sorry, man. That was,
no, it's all that was
I liked
that
that
was
one.
my favorite part of the show. Like legitimately, I was like, how are they going to deal with this? And I was like, that's actually pretty clever. Like
That
I
was good.
actually really dug that moment. And also, once again, it is kind of an indictment of Hollywood and the state that Hollywood is in, because it really does call out the fact that they have an agenda and they're weaponizing their position as artists to further an agenda. Like, and in a way, it's funny because he does kind of blow up their spot with that. Like, he does kind of like call them out for their nonsense, you know, even though he's covering for, you know, Simon in that moment.
Yeah.
I
I'll
also
say
think-
this. I'll say
I
that
do
this show was created by the creator of Shang-Chi. And
Yep.
Shang-Chi is the best Marvel movie post Endgame that didn't have Spider-Man in it.
You know, you say all this, but I
Yeah.
actually now have more faith going forward with Daniel Destin.
I was I
after
was
this.
Oh, No Way
legitimately
Home was
surprised.
post-Endgame.
I did not know he was working on this, and I was like, that's the
created
same
it.
guy that did Shang-Chi. Oh my god! Maybe I've been wrong about this guy. Maybe Shang-Chi maybe Simu Liu just really
Look,
sucks,
yes.
and the
Look,
rest of that movie was
no one-
good.
I say it's the best post Endgame movie, and no one has ever challenged that.
This show firmly is. In
I mean,
the
Alan, the
camp
bar is
of-
pretty low.
No
My
Way Home
skeleton
was
is
Yeah,
the
we're
one-
not
post-Endgame.
saying much.
I've
that
said it
one,
over
man.
and over and over again, and no one has challenged it.
I
That
can't
bar
I'm
is
stand.
low.
challenging it.
That bar's in hell.
I did
No
not
Way
like
Home was better.
Shang-Chi.
Come on.
I did not like Shang-Chi at
What was
all,
better than
frankly. But
Yeah,
there's
I
not
haven't
really
been back.
anything because the bar is very low, and Spider-Man is kind of the only thing that kept the MCU like alive at all. Yep, 100%.
Anything with Aquafina in it is ruined for me.
God,
Or
man,
does
dude.
Spider-Man
Still,
not
better
count
than
because
Shang-Chi.
is that?
I understand why they didn't make them
Nobody has
love
to.
interest, because who would fall in love with Aquafina? Yikes! Like, yeah.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed we didn't get the actual Simon Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
you know,
wanted from the very beginning.
look, I get it. You know, they're I'm not their audience, right? Like comic book fans are not their audience. They're not who we're not who they want. But overall, man, it was a
Who do
solid.
they want?
It was a solid.
So yeah,
show,
who was
right?
the audience for this? Who is the audience for
Exactly.
this show?
I'll
For this
tell you.
show?
I'll tell you.
Because it sure as hell ain't superhero
No,
fans. which
people
I
in
showed
the,
up
people
for
in the
that.
industry. That's who the show is for. People who
Yeah,
like
right.
Mhm.
that's who that's what it's written for, man. Like I said, I loved a lot of parts, especially of it, because I'm like, especially the part where in the first episode where he's giving the director all those notes, and I'm just cringing, like, shut up.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
I was like,
please
stop!
stop
You're gonna get
talking, man.
fired, bro. Like, shut up. Yeah.
Just please stop. But the fact that he was able to evoke those emotions, I'm like, okay, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, the real answer to superhero fatigue is good writing, because that's the issue has been the writing has been so bad. And the thing is, I have always believed that like you could have a Western with a guy with some kind of mystic powers, and it kind of elevates the project if the writing is good, if there's a reason for it. I didn't like that they named him Simon Williams. I wish he would have just been a different character who was inspired by his favorite
Or
superhero,
who was playing
Wonder
Simon
Man.
Williams in that
Or-
movie about him?
Yes, was playing Simon Williams. And so there's like this maybe like esoteric, is Simon Williams an actual person in the MCU? We don't know, but this guy is just inspired by his favorite superhero. But you know, or even named after him. Maybe it was his dad's favorite superhero. They don't ever really address that. But yeah, ultimately the MCU could have been doing this for a long time and kept interest, and also gave new directors and younger writers a chance to like experiment with things and try different things and try different takes and genres, and potentially have brought in new characters this way. But instead they wasted it with a lot of crappy television shows that nobody watched or did watch and hated, and it kind of ultimately crippled them like in the long run. So
yes and no. I think yes, this was probably something that was easy for them to write because it is a commentary on Hollywood and on actors, and they have experience with that. They probably put in some of their own experience dealing with actors in this script, which is why it feels so good, I guess, which is why it's so good, because it's just like, yeah, that's just how Hollywood is, because they're familiar with it, so they're able to write about it and it be a good script, as opposed to like, you know, having men save the world. They're just like, I don't know about that. I don't know about writing a hero's journey. I don't know about that. We have to change a little bit. We have to put some women in it, give the women like male characteristics and make it better. Let's just do it somewhat differently. This they're able to write about because this is something they know, that they're in the industry. They can do that. They can write these types of characters, but all this other stuff, I think that Wonder Man could have benefited from one extra episode, like just one extra episode with his family, because I liked the interaction with his family. I liked that, where I wanted to see more of that, and then like nothing with his brother. Like, yes, you see it get resolved with his brother, but like there was a lot of tension with his brother. And then, you know, they're at the premiere and his brother's like, I'm so proud of you. But I wanted to see like this conversation, really like get that relationship and fix it. Don't just show like, oh, he's proud of him now that he's a great actor. Like, just have more with the family. I wanted more with the family. It could have benefited with an extra episode to give that character, the Simon character, just a little bit more depth with that character. And
also this movie or this show doesn't really work if it's not connected to the MCU. I know people saying it has minor connections, but like, remember when Marvel was doing one shots of these different characters that were like not major characters on screen, just so you could keep seeing some of these guys that you liked on television? That's what they could have done with these shows. You could have, I mean, they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Obviously, they didn't tie it into the bigger MCU, but like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was because of Phil Coulson being so popular, and they knew that people would watch the show because of him, and they tied it into the bigger MCU in moments, and that's what kind of sells it. The thing is, the one major tie into the MCU was what sold the show. I don't know that it works nearly as good if Trevor doesn't do what he does at the end of the show. It just doesn't. And that's something that the MCU used to be able to earn for us and from us, like Cap picking up the, you know, Thor's hammer in Endgame. That's an earned moment that they set up years prior, you know, like seeing those kind of payoffs in long-term storytelling is always cool. And even if it's a minor character that they go, you know what, this character's going to disappear now, but here's their little send off, you know, because Trevor Slattery isn't like a major character and shouldn't be, but he was charming. Ben Kingsley's a great actor. They gave him something to do here that I really enjoyed, you know?
Yeah. There's still a connection, by the way, because at the end of it, Wonder Man has all his powers and I don't think he's just going to go back to making movies. So he's out there with all of his shit with Trevor.
Mm-hmm. So is he a mutant? Is that how he got his powers? He's a mutant,
because they basically say he was 13, puberty when it came out, and he's just ignored it his whole life. Doesn't want it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So does this set up a possibility of post?
Isn't Daniel doing X-Men? Isn't he involved in it?
I think this will be the last time we ever see Simon Williams in anything Marvel. I think on the plus side, I feel like it's the first Marvel show on Disney Plus, made for Disney Plus, that feels like a real TV show. It didn't feel like a movie cut up into parts. Like the way it ended was like, well, I got to see the next episode. It felt like a real TV show. It was clever. It was ultimately meaningless because it's not going to tie in. I almost feel like there could be two MCUs, the movies and the TV shows.
That's how it should have been.
That's how
he's not in Doomsday.
The TV shows can cross over. They can connect to each other. So the streaming shows connect with each other. The movies connect with each other, but they're separate things, and doesn't look like who knows?
I mean, that's how it used to be, right? With
Right.
like the Marvel shows on Netflix, but now with the Disney Plus, they're like, oh yeah, you have to watch these, and it'll all connect all together with everything. So
Well,
this is
and
basically homework.
that
But
was kind of a
having
ben-
said
it was
that-
kind of a hidden blessing because the TV guys and the movie guys all hated each other, and so they refused to work together. So bad, in fact, that remember when, like, you know, on the docket for what was it, Phase 3 or Phase 4, the Inhumans movie, and then they introduced the Inhumans and Agents of Shield, and Kevin Feige was like, "Scrap it, we're not doing that movie anymore because they ruined the Inhumans." Like, I mean, that was kind of a like to scrap an entire film because somebody showed those characters in like your television show is pretty wild. But I think it was a hidden blessing because of what they tried to do later, and we're like, yeah, that would have never worked. Like,
But
it just
truly though, the best moment where the TV and movies collided was when Winter Soldier affected the events of Winter Soldier directly tied to Agents of Shield.
yes,
That was I was watching.
that was
Agents of
mind
Shield.
blowing.
It was
Yeah,
amazing. In the next week, those events was huge. That was great. I don't think we'll ever see that again. And ultimately, even as good as Wonder Man was, it's really not going to mean much, which is kind of too bad.
Yeah.
So let's go to comments here, and we'll talk about. We have other topics.
Andrew Cram gifted 5 Film Threat memberships. Thank you, Andrew.
Appreciate it, Andrew.
Lord Comet for 2. Hi, Chris Gore, Alan, Cabal. Oh, Disney is moving to Las Vegas.
Really?
I hadn't heard that one.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's new. But thanks, Lord Comet.
Sons and Shadows cast. Shout out Jeff, member for 30 months. Long live Megaforce. Looks like everyone survived award this.
Shout out to Jeff from Sons and Shadows. He showed up in shorts and later helped us out. It was so great working the event. Then he changed and I didn't recognize him. So now I understand, like Clark Kent Superman. It was so weird. All he did was like put on like a suit coat. He looked professional. Didn't realize it was the same guy. Thank you.
Dante
Jeff.
without those glasses looks completely different. I saw him and then I heard his voice. Like, oh, that's Dante. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Thanks,
Yeah, the
Thunder
Clark Kent
Shadows.
thing would definitely
Appreciate
work.
you.
CD
That was
Sign
great.
69, member for 26 months. Wonder Man is much like the Aliens series. That was a show that someone wanted to get made, but used an IP to get it on TV. Otherwise, it never happened.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing happened with Tron Ares.
Andrew Cram for 10. Is Wonder Man an actual superhero in the comics?
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yes. So, here we go.
Bruce Leroy Jenkins for 2. Mickey, CPT tax.
that's wild. Thank you.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
That's wild.
Major fine
cool.
for you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
Hey, real quick before we talk Starfleet Academy, Los Angeles's hold on Hollywood is slipping. We have heard tales of productions moving. The cost of doing business in California is out of control, and Nick Shirley is currently in the state of California looking for fraud.
Good.
He is.
But
Yeah.
here's what it's like. This was a little video I saw that kind of ties in. This is what Republicans think living in California is like. Just watch this video, and for those that are here, is this what it's really like?
This is what Republicans think Californians are like. I wake up to an unhoused man attacking me. This is what's known as does a squatter's law. He's now legally my responsibility to take care of. I read the forecasts, and then I get into my normal size car. I spend 4 hours driving in traffic to get to Erewhon. This is where I literally do all my shopping. I even find strawberries for only $40. Then I pick up my they, them from school. They or them is growing up so fast.
How was your day, honey? They mutilated my genitals? Well, you're in the 8th grade now.
I come home and
Wow.
quick potty break, and then I watch the nightly news.
This just in. Capitalism is bad. Now let's send it to Steve Shaboinky for more on the story.
At 6 p.m., I practice eating the rich for dinner, and then I spend the rest of the night getting triggered by the American flag. At 10 p.m., it's time for bed. Oh, it looks like my wife is in the mood tonight. I hope she's gentle with me. And that's my
Wow.
This is what we
All right,
Wow.
all
Oh my
right.
God.
I can confirm that may or may not be.
That is wild work, man.
The accuracy of that video is crazy.
It's a little out of control, but
Can't believe it.
I
That's why
believe we
Dante
have
left.
notes for this.
Everybody
story.
knows a dude like that in California. I would say that.
Oh,
Everybody knows at
It's
least
funny
one person
because
like
it's
that.
true.
The
This is
ending,
from-
dude. I sure hope she's gentle
Wow.
tonight. That's
This is
wild.
from the Hollywood Reporter. Los Angeles, hold on, Hollywood is slipping. Where's the work? Film and TV production data over the past 3 years shows a sharp decline in projects filming in the city, even as officials recognize keep the entertainment industry. This is a Detroit level decimation.
Yeah.
This comes up a lot, but you just look at it. I know are there notes for the story there for you? Okay, let's get into it.
Los Angeles' hold on Hollywood is slipping. Los Angeles film and TV production has continued to slide, reinforcing a growing belief that there is simply not enough work in Hollywood's home base to sustain jobs or affordable living. Major productions are increasingly leaving LA for London, New Jersey, Georgia, New Mexico, Louisiana, and New York, all of which offer competitive tax incentives and infrastructure. With fewer TV series and network orders, studio lots in LA are sitting empty. Some are pitching space to influencers, while others are consolidating or selling off soundstage complexes without long-term tenants. The situation is severe enough that the operator of the historic Radford Studio Center reportedly defaulted on a $1.1 billion loan. State and local officials took the industry for granted for a very long time, said Hudson Pacific CEO Victor Coleman. New data from Luminate shows a 24% year-over-year drop in major scripted film and TV projects shooting in Los Angeles in 2025. Film LA data echoes this trend, with feature film production down 16.8%, TV down 14.7%, and commercials down 14.5%. Total shoot days fell to 19,694, nearly half of what they were just 3 years ago. California has boosted annual film and TV tax incentives from $330 million to $750 million. But leaders acknowledge that this is only a first step. Mayor Karen Bass' offices also announced efforts to reduce filming fees, streamline permits, and speed up approvals, especially for low-impact productions. California is using tax credits to attract projects tied to the state's identity, including a Baywatch reboot, a Snoop Dogg biopic, and Ang Lee's Gold Mountain. These projects signal progress, but they are exceptions rather than the rule. As streaming becomes a global business, studios increasingly shoot projects in other countries that match their target audience or offer stronger incentives. Over 5 years, the share of scripted projects shot in the US has dropped significantly, while Canada and the UK have gained ground. Production spending overall fell 8% year over year to $41.8 billion, showing this isn't just an LA problem. The uncertainty has intensified debate over the potential sale of Warner Brothers, with buyers promising more jobs and movies, though the outcome remains unclear. Los Angeles is fighting to hold on to its role as the center of Hollywood, but data shows a sustained decline in production. Incentives and reforms may help, yet global competition, streaming economics, and fewer theatrical releases continue to pull work away from the city.
Well, here we go. Looking at this chart, which is further down in the article, that was, if you look at the year 2020, the drop in productions, I mean, that was to be expected during the reaction to the pandemic. And then you've got last year, 2025, which is almost at the same level as during the pandemic year. Look at that. During the pandemic year in 2020, 18,000 productions. During 2025, 19,000. The chart tells the story. It's not coming back. It's been a steady decline. And this merger with Netflix WB is not going to help. Hollywood is not the center of production, not the center of the universe anymore. In particular, I think when we see the Oscars, watch us for the Oscars watch party, you'll see that like the relevance of Hollywood isn't there. When a movie financed and made by a YouTuber for a fraction of what a Hollywood film would cost is number 2 at the box office, there is a sea change in Hollywood's relevance. What do you guys think?
You know what the good news is that once Karen Bass rebuilds the Palisades, she can focus on Hollywood.
I mean, that's real talk though, because the problem is the leadership in government, and they've made California a where you can't really do business comfortably. They've made California into this state where Elon Musk has already left the state because it's cheaper to do business elsewhere. And you're starting to see the exact same thing when it comes to Hollywood. It's just cheaper to do business elsewhere. So why am I going to stay in this state and pay twice or maybe even 3 times as much to produce a film like where, we've seen this. We've talked about this over the last 3 years where Mel Gibson said, yeah, it's cheaper to go to Bulgaria. It's cheaper to film in other countries. So, yeah, Hollywood doesn't have a stranglehold on good locations. People are becoming more, I guess, savvy when it comes to the industry all over because people are working on film everywhere. And so you just need to have good, talented people, and you can kind of move a production anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country, do whatever it is you need to do. But yeah, Hollywood isn't the epicenter any longer because I think California destroyed the stranglehold it had because of all of its rules and regulations.
To build on your point, why would anyone come to California to make a movie?
Yeah,
for sure.
Let alone stay in California.
Yeah, and Georgia's turning into California. They already said that once they realized they're the new one, they just started raising all their, you pad everything, and so just push everyone out.
They ran to the UK. The Marvel went to the UK because of that. Yeah. Exactly.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that with the film industry like packing up and leaving, that does affect other industries in California. So it's not just the film industry that's affected by these studios, man. It's a lot of things that involve doing business with the studios. So I mean, this is a big deal, man, and this is just another black eye on Gavin Newsom's fucking career, man. It's he has destroyed the state. And look, like Chris mentioned earlier, Detroit, their whole foundation was built on car manufacture, man, and look what happened when that went away, right? So what happens when the film industry completely goes away from California? Like what are they really left with?
They're losing everything. They losing Silicon Valley too, man. People are starting to, you know what? Let's get out of here because it's way too expensive to do business in this state. People are fleeing. I mean, like I think the U-Haul rentals are going up, or going up to move their, stuff out of the state. People are renting U-Hauls and leaving the state. So the entire state is imploding. Slowly but surely. I think in about 4 or 5 more years, it's going to be a completely different situation in Cali.
Yeah, in fact, I read something recently that with U-Haul that they're not even letting people go out of state with their trucks anymore because there's too many people leaving the state now.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
Yeah, too many of their trucks are leaving the state.
Wow. It's pretty wild, man.
When Gary was moving to Texas, I think he said that like even then, because that was like the height of everyone exiting, that like you couldn't even get a U-Haul, let alone go out of state with it.
Wow.
Thanks, Gavin.
Let's talk about Starfleet Academy. For those that have seen Starfleet Academy, I guess black people are now Klingons in the Star Trek universe.
No,
that wasn't always the case.
What are you talking about? We got the whitest white of all Klingons
in that episode.
What? I'm just saying.
See, the leader, the more intelligent, clear-speaking one, that was the white Klingon.
It's true, though.
All right, Alan. I didn't say it. For those that are keeping up with Starfleet Academy, and I think more and more people are checking out. They just can't take it. What did you guys think of Starfleet Academy? And that episode, it's like each episode is sort of a different level of bad. I know the one that's upcoming is going to be.
It will destroy a beloved character from.
This one had the largest lore. The largest lore ramifications, and they did it so fucking casual when they said that Kronos had been destroyed, which de facto meant that you had a bunch of Klingons that didn't die in battle, and so they went straight to Grethor. They went straight to their version of hell because they didn't die an honorable death. Isn't that nice? But they didn't even think about that because they don't know their own lore.
They don't care.
Yeah,
the Federation pandered to them and allowed them to take over a world
because they think they're fucking stupid, and they're like, we know
Yeah.
you can't take this
'Cause they
world, so
need
we'll
the
have a fake
assistance.
battle with you, and then you're like, oh, we claimed this, wink, wink, and then the whitest. There's a straight up albino Klingon in Discovery. So like, I don't mean that, but like whether you were like a white dude or black dude, Tony Todd, Christopher Lloyd, if you played a Klingon, they gave you the same hair, right? The same straightened Klingon hair, and they gave you some form of like tanning. So your various versions. This is just a white dude, just a white dude. And if you're black, they don't change your hair; they just keep your dreads. Yeah.
See, I feel like if they're going to do this kind of shit, go all the fucking way with it, man. Like if you're going to have black Klingons and you're going to just, clearly make them black, get them a fucking afro or something, man. Like, let's just go. Let's lean all the way into it. Right?
Well, they gave him one guy
give him a Jerry
dreads.
curl, give him an afro.
Yeah.
Where's my activator?
So close, so close.
Like, just go all the way in.
Didn't they go all the way in? How much more worse can it get?
Like, how much worse can it get? Damn.
Have you seen my
Holly
hair?
Hunter's character, like they had a sexual relationship, right? Her and the Klingon leader. That's what they were hinting at. Hint, hint. Do you want to say hello the right way, or should we just get to business? We'll have to save that for later. Wink, wink.
I don't know. I only lasted 60 minutes on that rodeo bull. So like I haven't seen any episode after the first one. I don't plan on going back.
I watched the whole first episode and went, this gave my soul cancer. So it's wild because I've loved Star Trek and I grew up with it and I know a ton of it. And my wife is a huge Trekkie and she's watched every single Star Trek show up until the modern stuff like multiple times. Like I think she's seen Deep Space Nine like 4 times all the way through. She loves it. And when I explained to her where the setting was and I explained what the burn was and everything, it was like, did children write this? Like it's like it's like a bunch of people like Redditors that wanted to write fanfic about Star Trek, looked up a Wikipedia article on Star Trek and said, yeah, that sounds cool. Let's write this. Like, I'm like, why is everybody smiling at each other? Like they're in like pluribus. Like, what are we doing? Like, a Klingon Jim Hadar hybrid.
We didn't even, and she explains that she has a Jim Hadar father and a Klingon female.
Yeah, but I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm like, also, I don't know if they explain it in later episodes, but I'm like, the Romulans don't use like dilithium spheres. They use singularity technology. Why didn't they just kill everybody? Because that's what the Romulans have been trying to do as long as Star Trek has been around, is murder everyone but Romulans. Like, there's just so many things that they obviously do not care or know anything about the lore.
Well, Romulus got destroyed, remember? So now they're all refugees. They've been space refugees since Romulus was destroyed in their timeline.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's the Kelvin timeline, though. That's
no. Kelvin, it was Vulcan when he went and destroyed Vulcan. But the prime impetus for Spock going back in time,
that's right.
was in fact Romulus
but I forgot
was destroyed. And that's I know.
I didn't.
Here's the thing, Mike. You don't have to, because they're not paying attention to that shit either.
They're not paying,
that's not why they have. I would use it to steel man it, but that's not why the Romulus is like that. They just and the modern dialogue and shit. Yeah.
But is it the lack? Look, I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I'm working on episode 3 as we speak. Is it the lack of lore? It's not the lack of lore that's ruining the show, because it's just bad writing all the way around. It really doesn't matter. The lore,
all of it's bad.
All of it's bad, but the main thing is, and I've always said this, people will, forgive lore if the story's good. At least like Andor is a good example. Andor tramples all over the lore, all over the place. But guess what? It's a well-told story. And so people accept it. And people will say, oh, okay, well, I can watch this. This is a good hour of television or whatever. Nobody's saying that about this show. So like I said, I've only made it through 2 episodes, so I can't say how bad the writing is in 3 and 4, but the first 2 episodes were unwatchable.
Yeah. Can I just address that, where he was like, they're an empire? Well, see, this is what they've done. It's the same thing they do in every franchise, where they just reset everything because they don't know how to write new or keep any continuity. So the burn is how they said that everyone lost all their shit, and that in the interim 100 years now rebuilding, everyone's become xenophobic, isolationist. That's why they have to explain pronouns. Basically, all the virtue is gone now. and
Which
everything
makes
is
no sense.
it makes no fucking sense.
By the
It's
way,
what
what
they do
science
with all
is
of
the
them.
burn based on? I mean, how did it?
Well, you see a Kelpian that's neurodivergent retard was born next to dilithium, which gave him a biological connection. And when he tismed one day, it set a chain reaction blowing up all the dilithium in the galaxy. So all the ship warp cores overloaded.
So basic physics. That's what you're saying.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what the burn was, and I
Oh.
looked it up and I read it out loud, and I thought I was reading like somebody's notebook that just came up with a really shitty idea for sci-fi.
It makes no sense.
I couldn't believe it, man. Like, and once again, because I don't know, I haven't watched Discovery. I have avoided it like the plague. I watched season 1 and season 3 of Picard. I don't really know anything about this universe. And I've been saying this for a long time. The reason you do prequels a lot of times for these modern writers is so that you can change what has been established. You go back, you change canon, you change characters, you recast people so that you could change how they act in the shows. And then they jump so far in the future that they're like, well, we could just do whatever we want because we can kind of just reset everything with this burn. But even the technology that exists nowadays doesn't make any sense.
Did you ever watch Andromeda with Kevin Sorbo?
No.
Okay, well, that was supposed to be a Gene Roddenberry. That was supposed to be what he wanted for a Star Trek future, where they were going to go to the future where the Federation was gone and there was one last Starfleet vessel going around. And it's a good concept. They stole that for Discovery, and they have Michael Burnham. This is why you don't hear about her and all the shit that she's done, because she's the savior of everything. She goes to the future with her crew. So in this show, Starfleet Academy, and at the end of Discovery, they're like 800 years in the future, which is where they discover the burn. So they're like 1,000 years in the future, basically, by the time we get to Starfleet Academy.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that's how they've
Yikes.
explained. So 800 years in the future, and then the burn happens in like another 100 or so years. So they've been able to reset fucking everything by stealing that great concept that Roddenberry had.
Yikes.
By the way, at the end of the episode, Chancellor Aki gives the Klingon general the burn.
Okay, that's pretty good. That was pretty good.
I see what you did there.
It took me a second. I was like, what? Oh,
This last episode is the most like easy to follow too. Basically, the Klingon warrior, he's not a physical warrior. He learns that he's a warrior through debate. I am a Klingon warrior. I use my words. Yeah.
They obviously didn't watch, Next Generation, where they didn't even have like a word for, what was it? They didn't have a word for negotiator until they met that one guy. Like, dude, what are we doing, man? Like,
and that Jim Hadar half-breed is now his Klingon mentor.
No fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please make it stop.
I wish I was lying, bro.
Oh my god.
And
Well-
modern dialogue, Chris, the doctor,
please.
Robert Picardo, who says that chicken shit is not for, debate is not for the chicken shit. And then when the guy's like, "Can you say that?" He's like, "I've been alive for almost 1,000 years. I can do whatever I want. I've been around since before you were in a flicker in your daddy's pants." Yeah.
My biggest problem with the show, I don't mind that the characters are. Oh, sorry, Elaine. Go ahead.
I'm triggering her, I think.
Oh no, I'm sorry, just the modern vernacular.
It's so bad.
I cringed.
Well,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's uncreative. You know what I mean? Like, one of the cool things about Battlestar Galactica is you're not going to say fuck on TV. They say frack.
Fracking, eh?
It's a made up word. It's their word for, we know what it means. You could be at least creative and make up a kind of thing they would say, and in context you could figure it out. One of the worst lines in Starfleet Academy, and you could make a top 10 worst things said by characters in Starfleet Academy, was when the hologram says, "I know I give off unpaid dating coach energy."
What?
Listen to that line. "I give off unpaid dating coach energy." This is the horrible level of writing in the
Chris,
show.
that's funny.
It's not. It's funny, not in a Star Trek show. It's
What's
in
sad
a
is
different-
Robert acknowledged it. Like, he acknowledged that they're doing a bunch of modern dialogue, and that would be so different from all the other shows. But he took the paycheck.
When I hear a line like that, I had to go back. It's like, did she just say, "I give off unpaid dating coach energy"? That is something funny that somebody in the room, in the writer's room, said that everybody laughed, and then they said, you should use that in the show.
You
and
have to
then
put
they
that in
did.
there.
Yeah, let's create a scene so that it ends on that line.
Oh my god, you got it. Yeah, you got to use that. That's so funny.
That's
Yikes.
so funny. You should put that in the show. I
Soon
give
the
up.
show will collapse on itself like an origami chicken.
Another
line
dumb
was
thing that
horrible,
makes
man.
no sense. The point is, I don't even like any of these characters. I don't mind that they're flawed. I love a flawed character with room to grow. There is nothing admirable about
Where are
any
the
of these characters.
officers? Where are
Yes.
any of the officers? No one. And the one guy that did try to act with some decorum, the commandant of the war college, he was the uptight white asshole that told Holly Hunter character, "Hey, why don't you put shoes on when you're walking around the campus?"
It was even the shoe thing with Holly Hunter. We've had to see her. We saw her bare feet in what episode was that?
Kata likes that stuff, but everyone else is
the second
she's
episode.
constantly doing
Quentin
all
likes
the
that
fucking
stuff.
all the flipping.
Oh,
thing
Kata
that-
must love this show then.
Oh, he loves
sitting
it.
in
probably
the
loving the
chair
hell out
in
of
these
that.
odd positions. It's
Yep.
embarrassing. This is even, I'll say this, even videos, like harping on the show aren't performing well. I think there is a fatigue for videos complaining about how bad things are because we've accepted Star Trek is bad. Star Wars is bad.
Yeah, but
Marvel, there's a now fatigue about even discussing this stuff. Where,
Jaden and his two dads
Yeah,
and his
I
mom,
just,
like that's
well,
getting them to talk.
yeah,
the thing is, and Alex Kurtzman said it himself that they wanted to incorporate Harry Potter and these other franchises into Star Trek to make
Right.
it more appealing, I guess. But the thing is, we have Harry Potter, and
Yes.
Right.
it's insanely popular. Why are you trying to make it into something else? Because people who are fans of Harry Potter, and there's still many and young ones as well,
Mhm.
always new fans cropping up, are watching that and are super excited about the new show and all the things. So why would they want why would that appeal to them? I just don't understand. We're trying to make this into something else or incorporate these other themes from these other shows that people like, but they could just watch those things instead.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't.
So people like
that's
good
where-
writing.
that's
no
where I
matter
say the
what
writing is
generation
the
you're
problem.
from.
That's where I say the writing is the problem because number one, they don't know how to tell a story. They don't know how to create a good character that someone that I can resonate with. That's number one. But then they take franchises over that they don't understand, and they try to turn them into something they're not. Or they try to blend two franchises together. Let's blend Star Trek and Harry Potter. And it's like, but like Harry Potter fans are going to watch this because it's not Harry Potter. Star Trek fans aren't going to watch this because it's not Star Trek. So who is this for? Again, we keep having the same conversation over and over, which is why Chris just said people are getting tired of these videos because it's like we've been saying this over the last, few years. Everybody gets it. When is Hollywood going to get it? That's the question.
I mean, kudos to everyone here who's watched it because I've only been able to stomach it through reviews, but the clips that I've seen, it's just mind-numbingly bad.
Yes.
Not just an affront to Star Trek and what people love about it, but just offensively bad from your basic writing standpoint, basic characters. And I just don't understand how Paramount has continued to be able to run this franchise into the ground. One of the most historic and beloved franchises is celebrating its 60th year anniversary.
Who did y'all say was running Hollywood again? Who's running Hollywood again? Who's the top
Not allowed
dog?
to talk about them.
And they wanted to buy
okay.
Warner Brothers. And I'm sorry, like if you can't handle and foster and one of the most beloved and famous franchises, you
To be
want
fair,
Warner
Elaine,
Brothers?
this is holdover. Like this is a lot of before Paramount Skydance
It's like
merger. This is
already
yeah,
made when they bought
like
it.
we're getting another season of this.
But
That
it's
is
like
not an
blaming
Ellison
Trump
decision.
Two seasons was greenlit before a single episode premiered.
Two
How was
seasons
that
of
fair?
Velma
How was that?
was greenlit, right? That's how these devils get their. That's how they do it, right?
Because they'd rather pay for 2 seasons at once than 2 seasons at different times. It's like
Firefly had only 1 season. How is this fair?
It's not fair.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the problem.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
And that's the thing. I was telling somebody the other day because I've been going back and watching some of these old 90s sci-fi shows, and I'm watching Farscape for the first time and stuff. And I remember a time where when you were watching television, you sometimes had to give them like a full season to really like grow and kind of find their pacing as writers and stuff. Next Generation's a great example, man. Until Tasha died, man, that show sometimes pretty rough. There's some good episodes in between there, but man, they were struggling. But like, you would give like a show sometimes a full season. Nowadays, I can't get through 2 or 3 episodes and I'm just done. I'm like, because I know it's not going to get any better. These writers aren't going to learn anything. They're not progressing. They're not learning their voices. These actors aren't learning anything new. They're not developing as characters or actors or anything. It's all going to stay the same because it's all spinning wheels because they don't actually have any vision for what the show could be or what it should be or anything. It's just about how can I insert what I think is cool into this very moment, because like we said, somebody will make a joke around the table and goes, oh, that's funny, put that in, write that down, or whatever, because that's the inspiration. Wouldn't it be cool if let's do that too, instead of it being, let's tell a story dealing with this issue or that tackling that theme, it's kind of pathetic. But I don't even know if I could force myself to watch another episode of this show.
I mean, I think that worked for back in the day, man. Back when episodes were like 24 episodes a season, back when shows were 24 episodes a season, like there was a slow burn, and you could say, okay, I could give this show maybe 3 or 4 episodes in, right? Like I can do that. When shows are only 8 episodes a season, you don't have time for that. There is no fluff, right? Like there is no filler episodes when there's an 8-episode season, right? They got to get right to it right away. Things have to make sense right away, or you're going to lose your audience in that first episode. Like me, right? I'm not going back to Starfleet Academy. I did 1 episode. I'm good.
We've been burned before, right? We've been burned by all of these bad shows over the last, 10 years. Every time a bad show comes out, immediately your BS meter is up. You're waiting to see, I'm out. You're just waiting to check out from the show. And there's so many other things to watch right now. We have an absolute smorgasbord of great content somewhere. You got to find it, right? You got to have to look for it. But there are great shows out there. There's a lot of anime that you could be watching. It's like I always sit back and think like, man, I could be watching something else instead of wasting my time watching this. I only got 24 hours.
Let me ask everybody a question who has seen Starfleet, right? Like the consensus. From the first 2 episodes, right? Like you probably saw more than that, but at least with the first 2 episodes, do you see this show getting any better?
Oh hell
no.
Then why watch it? Right? Like why?
Oh no! Again, the reason to watch is because they can ruin it even more.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's my point.
Look. I'll just say this: episode 5 involves a beloved captain.
See.
Honestly, I'm kind of into the sadism of it now, because if you told me that one of the episodes we were going to have like the whole polyamorous fucking parents, and then Kronos just destroyed offhand and all these things, like, oh, what else could you do? At this point, it's just Schadenfreude. Like,
dude, this show really, literally, and I say this like not to be a little funny, but to be real. Like, you can say what you want about Tommy Wiseau, man. Like, but that guy. But that guy had a vision, right? I mean, at least he had a vision. He had
what
like
he wanted to do. Yeah.
He told a story he wanted to tell.
The story was his.
It was all his, man. I mean, you got to give him credit for that, right? I mean, at least he tried.
Yeah. Riker's not on the show, but we did get a ship named USS Riker. Yeah. The whole thing is this all goes down to intention. Kurtzman is another Russell T. Davies, where he's basically said, my ideology, if you're not writing about insert shit I care about in 2025, 2026, what are you even doing? So that's what we're going to get. But they didn't set out to make a good Star Trek show. Because, this show could be great if they did all like the hijinks and then turned them into fucking Starfleet officers that care and real stakes. That ain't this.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Kurtzman was not a fan of the original Star Trek. In fact, he felt he could fix it. And that's what he's doing. He's fixing
Which is what they did with Lord of the Rings. They think they can fix it. Yeah. They all think they can fix it.
On the other side of the Ellisons, I mean, once this second season of this trash is gone and then the Ellisons step in, are they going to fix it? I mean, they got a lot of work to do now because this is completely.
No, it's already shot. The second season's already shot.
And they said that
they've already shot it.
It's unrelated.
They
drop
can't
this
fix
year?
There's no fixing.
I would try to drop it as soon as possible, man. Get this thing over and done with so we can move on to the next, because this is killing the franchise. I mean, well, Chris already had a funeral for it, so I guess it's already dead.
Well, you know what I would do? I would not give it any more money. If they need to do
I would market it, drop it all at once. Yep.
Yeah, get some high schoolers to do the special effects.
Yep.
And then just put the series out.
Yep.
It's not worth spending more money on.
Yeah. Nope. It's not. Well, it's not. You're not getting subscribers from this. There's nobody's going, man, I got to watch this show. Yeah. I can't wait to do this.
Well, they're not even advertising it on.
Also, I wonder if this is supposed to be Gen Z or Star Trek for Gen Z.
It is.
I mean, how insulting is that for Gen Z who apparently doesn't like the writing either? Like,
well, and what's really weird about this, like, this is everywhere that I look. I mean, and also them putting this on YouTube was the biggest mistake they could have made, because I know they were once again thinking probably, oh, young kids are on YouTube, they'll watch it if we put it on there, and we watch, you know, Gary like have more viewership from a character like a action figure sitting on a chair than that show, which is crazy to me. But if you go look on like Facebook, which is like rife with bots everywhere, it's full of people saying, we love this show. Oh, this show's really good. Oh, this show's really good. And a lot of older Star Trek fans going, oh, I'll have to check it out. I didn't know. It's always cool to see more Star Trek and stuff. So like, if you look on places where you know that the discourse is a little bit more honest, everyone hates this show. And if you look at places where you know that they're kind of marketing it to people that don't know any better and like casuals and stuff, it's all people saying the same thing. This show's so good. Oh, it's so wonderful. You know, all the defense for Holly Hunter's character and her lack of decorum is, well, she's 400 years old. She's probably tired of all the standards and stuff. And I'm like, Guinan wasn't even part of Starfleet. She just ran 10 forward and she had more decorum than this character.
Yeah.
And she lived thousands of years. Like, you know, it's wild, but they probably don't even know who Guinan is.
She's such a great character in this, STNG. But you know what's better than Starfleet Academy? And we'll watch it together now. Is the William Shatner Raisin Bran commercial.
There we go.
That is that we're gonna watch it together.
Now we're cooking.
That makes jokes about taking a shat. Let's watch it.
Now we're cooking.
Bringing fiber to the masses with Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Duty calls.
Will Shat?
Every darn day. Will Shat in the house. It's fiber time.
Nice.
Let's see. Perfect. Get in the car! You're too old for this shit.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
High fiber, happy gut.
Kellogg.
That commercial is so.
That's too hilarious.
I could see a whole season of that.
He shot on the car as well.
That is crazy.
Why isn't he playing a hologram professor in the show?
Because he has dignity.
Captain
right. He
James
respects
Wells.
his career, and he's not about to lend his name to this garbage.
Didn't ask. How is he 94?
Do a Raisin Bran commercial where it makes jokes about taking a shat than be in Starfleet Academy. And
more people will see that commercial than will have seen him on anything.
No, or seen him seen Starfleet Academy. Just when them taking down that YouTube episode, it's very telling. They were embarrassed by the number of the YouTube.
It's down. It's gone.
It's gone. You
wait. What happened?
They took the YouTube video. The YouTube episode 1. They took it down.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have to subscribe to Paramount Plus.
Oh. It had 27,000 downvotes to 8,000 upvotes at the time they made it private.
It also had a lot of comments which were mocking it, deservedly so.
Look, I think the
failure.
Ellison,
they know they failed.
I think the Ellisons did that on purpose to prove to Kurtzman and gang that your show sucks, and no one cares about it.
Seriously?
And now that any decision we make about Star Trek will be based on the fact that no one watched it.
I think that's pretty accurate. I think that's a deliberate move. Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Nobody watched this and thought this is quality. This is really good. Yeah. Like.
Did they do that with any other
come back and say,
shows?
well, what are the numbers? Well, we know it. No one saw it.
We know. Yep.
Like Strange New Worlds or Discovery, did they ever release episodes on YouTube?
No,
or was this the first time?
I don't think so. I don't
think so. I never heard of that. But once again, you can't hide the numbers on YouTube. Yeah. So you definitively proved nobody watches this stuff. All the people clamoring and screaming that it's awesome and people are you're just hating to hate. Nobody's watching this show. It's, you know what? Same thing happened to Acolyte, and they could hide their numbers.
Bingo.
See, now they
have
say,
the
people would rather watch
Oh,
People
it's
would
in the
rather
first
watch
5 days and all of that crap. They could hide it all in that nonsense, but you couldn't hide those YouTube views.
Yeah.
The YouTube views were what they were. You couldn't hide it. And that was
exactly.
the brilliance of that.
And you could say that people would rather watch a Spock action figure on a chair than watch it.
Definitively. Yeah, there's no argument. You can't say, no, that's silly. No, we've proven it. Like, yeah, it's wild.
They were
man.
humiliated. That's why I took it down. They took it down.
Yep.
I've got a lot more news stories, but something fun here that I have to do. And wait, we didn't do a thing for this. Sorry, I didn't know we were going to do this. I'm doing this. Executive decision. You can only do so many stories about how Hollywood is crashing and burning. But let's look away from Hollywood for a second. A little indie movie. This is one of the biggest videos ever on the Film Threat YouTube channel. It was a trailer for a movie called Loqueesha.
Oh my god.
I wanna. This got millions of views, and the comments are gold. We're gonna go through some of them, and we're gonna watch this trailer together. This is a little indie movie made by a comedian, and how did this get under everyone's radar? I will present this, and we're going to look at comments. I want to hear what you have to say. This is a little comedy called Laqueesha.
You always seem to say the right thing to just the right person. What's your secret?
I'm really just talking to myself. I don't charge for my advice.
Well, you should, because it was amazing. I saw this, and I thought of you. You will be a hit in no time.
Welcome to the Joe Show. I submitted myself to a radio station for my own show.
Well, congratulations.
They rejected me.
Well, congratulations then.
You weren't right for your own show? Jason skipped it. We need to get the money for this school.
$13,000 a semester? Asking me is their own show. If I was a black woman, I'd be perfect.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I already thought I saw where this is going. I'm so excited.
The biggest thing in radio, but I still need my anonymity.
You nervous? It's not.
Oh my god.
It's theater.
You live with Loqueesha. What's your problem?
Hi, Loqueesha. It's free.
Oh, I ain't talking to you, not the way you sound. Next caller.
You go, girl.
You just be good to her. If you good to yourself, you can be good to others. But don't be too good because the police will come around.
Where did you get this?
I got another job.
Doing what?
Consulting work. What the hell would you know about being a white guy anyway? I know quite a bit.
Loqueesha is a real role model for every African-American woman on this planet.
Wow.
Like the whole city has a Queesha mania.
I am Loqueesha, officer.
What was that?
I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body.
You need to talk to Loqueesha. Just because she's a woman and a black person doesn't mean that she doesn't understand you.
Is this really happening?
I'm on a bridge above the river, and I'm going to jump.
But thanks for calling. Enjoy your jump.
I gotta start listening to her.
Wow.
This is a real movie, and the comments are fire. Comments are insane when you look at this. I just want to bring this to your attention. If you want to see some crazy comments like Starfleet Academy, this exists. So we'll put the link in the description. Just want you to know, people are saying this is like a Tim and Eric sketch. No,
I'm gonna be honest.
It's a real movie.
It's actually a pretty funny concept, man. Like, I mean, we watched Whoopi Goldberg and what was it in The Associate? It's like where she pretended to be a white business guy and dressed up like. I think it's a funny idea, man. Like, it doesn't feel like they're just trying to be. You know, the problem is like nowadays, like when you get somebody that's brave enough to do something like this, they have to be really edgy about it. They're not trying to be edgy, at least in the trailer. They're just like, yo,
very middle.
He's just wanted a job, and like he's not being like offensive, like, you know, or trying to like lean into like, I don't know. I was like, that's kind of a funny concept, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that too, because I feel like it gave me like hints of like, you know, old school, like, comedies like Silver Streak, right, with like Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, or even there was a movie in the 80s called Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell.
Soul Man.
Oh my God.
Right, it kind of gave me flares of that, man. So I'm kind of like, you know what, I might be on board for this.
That's the kind of movies we used to get. Dante's right, like the comedies that were a little bit offbeat, it had an interesting concept to it, and we don't get that no more. Like this would have been I don't know, how did it do? Did it do well when it released?
It played the indie film circuit. It's on Tubi, but the comments on the
I think that would have been a fire movie if you dropped. I mean, if somebody put some money towards it, it would have been really good. I would have watched that. That's the kind of comedy that I like, and we don't get anymore. We don't get comedy like that anymore. I would have loved to see that. I'm gonna go check it out.
You don't get comedy with racial humor, which is I don't know.
But
if you
like,
go to a comedy
two
club,
people just taking themselves serious, like, hey man, I got to get this work. I got to figure that out. Okay, I got an idea of how I can get some money and play it all the way to the end. I love it,
dude. I don't mind a movie with a little balls, man. Like people are so soft, like they would never survive. There was a movie back in the day called Watermelon Man.
I Watermelon Man.
And that movie, like if you were to watch it today, they would burn the studio down if they were to see
if you ever watch Mad TV, one of the best bits is Artie Lang doing My White Mama, who plays a black woman who gets killed and then takes over his body. And so it's just Artie Lang. Don't make me break my foot off in your ass. It was like a fake television show, but like that's the humor we used to have.
I forgot about My White Mama.
It lives rent free.
That is so funny.
I would like to go back to that type of
My
humor.
White Mama, dude.
Yes.
There is a way to do racial humor where you could be edgy, you could be funny.
Yes,
and everybody loves it, man. Like it just has to be earnest. That's all.
Yeah, and good natured at its heart. Like
Yep.
Hey, Elon Musk has chimed in on the Helen of Troy casting. Let's put this up here so everyone can check this out. This is we know about the Odyssey. Chris Nolan, let me make this bigger here so you guys can all see this. But here's the description from Homer of the character Helen of Troy, right? And Lupita Nyong'o is apparently playing Helen of Troy. This is from Chrissy Mayer's X account here, and all I can say is Elon Musk said Chris Nolan has lost his integrity. There are rules with the Academy Awards. If you want Academy consideration for Best Picture, you have to have a diverse cast. The cast has been the most controversial thing about this movie. I don't know.
But you can have a diverse cast without casting her as Helen of fucking Troy. I mean, what are we doing here?
I want to hear what you guys think. It hasn't been confirmed, like officially. But what do you guys think?
Well, I think that Star Wars girl had the best pose where she put Helen of Detroit.
Yeah,
because no, look, man. I mean, I find it ridiculous. I get it. You know what's weird for me is I get the weird feeling that this is going to be a big blow up for Nolan, man. I think this movie's not going to do nearly as well as his other films. And I mean, I could be completely wrong on this, but it just feels like everything I've been seeing, I even don't want to see it at this point. Like, I'm kind of like, I could see something else. But I get the whole, like, the studio's having a gun to their head, right? Like, they can't make a movie unless it's fully diverse. It can't get nominated unless it's fully diverse. I get that. Be smart about the way you cast, though, man. You don't cast Lupita, a Nigerian woman, as Helen of Troy. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
No, the first Greeks were black. Didn't you know that?
Of course they were. So are the Vikings.
Yeah,
apparently.
We all came from Africa, so every first civilization was black. We all know that.
We was kings, bro. We was kings. You don't know.
Bro. Sorry, we stole everything. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I think this is dumb. If true, this is stupid. This is a terrible casting. Lupita Nyong'o, I think she's a beautiful actress. I think she's an amazing actress. She's not Helen of Troy. She's not Helen of Troy on any day. of the week. And to me, I'm wondering why, like Chris Nolan's didn't he already win an Oscar for Oppenheimer? Didn't he already win like awards for that? So like at that point, it's like, okay, make the movies you want to make and don't be beholden to Hollywood's stupid rules. If Hollywood says you got to have a black Helen of Troy or black characters in the Greek epic in order to make the movie, then you just either say, well, screw Hollywood. I'm just going to make the movie I think needs to be made, and I'm going to cast appropriately. I'm not going to put a black woman in as Helen of Troy and then try to pass that off. All right. Because the audience is going to look at that and say, this is stupid, and I'm not going to see your movie. And he spent a lot of money on this movie.
Now, let me ask the question though. Oh, sorry, Mark, go ahead. And then I want to ask a question.
Well, I was going to say this, one of the things that has been an increasing narrative, specifically with Christopher Nolan, is I think he's so confident in what his vision is for film that he's not willing to really hear anybody else's opinion on it. And what this feels like to me is him trying to return to like colorless casting. Kenneth Branagh used to do it all the time back in the day. Like he would cast Denzel Washington and, Keanu Reeves' brothers in Much Ado About Nothing. He would cast whoever he felt like was best for the role, and he wasn't trying to pander to anybody. But the thing is, the reason people are upset is because Hollywood misused that and manipulated people, and then said if you didn't like this thing, that you're obviously a racist. And I'm like, now is not really the time for you to like try to return back to that state of like things in the industry, because people are kind of burned out on it, and because people are going to be sick of when they say things like, I don't think she should be right for this role, them getting called racist all over the internet. And Christopher Nolan is not stupid. He knows that that's going to be a narrative. He knows people are going to say that kind of stuff. And it really does feel like him trying to like kick against the pricks a little bit and like kind of, but I'm going to have my way and nobody can tell me what to do. And I'm like, nah, man, I think you actually need to like read the room a little bit, because I do think this is going to affect your bottom line.
You already see people doing that. You already see people defending her casting and calling people bigots and calling people racist for not liking it, saying that it shouldn't matter what her skin color is because she's a fictional character. Why bother? Why are you just getting angry? You're just a racist. And I think it does matter because it's based on, yes, it's a fictional character, but it's based on a novel.
I don't even think it's a fictional character. We found the fucking city of Troy. It's just like it might be.
That's how they're defending the casting and saying she's perfect, she's beautiful. How can you say she's not beautiful? She's just as beautiful as anybody else that they could cast. Like they're already putting out that narrative. And yes, Christopher Nolan should be hyper aware of what casting Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy would do. It's not confirmed casting, but it is something that was making the rounds. And I think that it came from the picture, at least I'm pretty sure it came from like Instagram. Because as far as I could track that photo down, I'm pretty sure that it came from Instagram. It's just somebody who was reporting that she has reportedly been cast as Helen of Troy and that she might play dual roles as well. So she's not just Helen of Troy, she's also playing another character, but they're pretty sure that she's playing Helen of Troy, even though it's not confirmed. But if she is in fact playing Helen of Troy, a lot of people that are looking forward to this movie are, I'm like, including myself, I'm just disappointed. Like, really? This is who you're getting to be as Helen of Troy? Seriously.
I mean, especially after seeing like Diane Kruger play her in Troy. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way. Like, and I hope for Chris Nolan's sake that this is fake. Like, I hope that it's not real, but
the way I'm starting to see this whole film from Christopher Nolan is, I think this is Christopher Nolan's version of The Love Boat. He's just making a movie, getting all his favorite actors to be on board, and it's just good. Because if you compare it to Oppenheimer, not a lot of race swapping in Oppenheimer. Nope. He shows that he can at least tell a true story and do it right. This one is a myth, and he's just getting his friends to be in the film. And that's
I was already skeptical because we all know, and I've said this many times, that Chris Nolan does not like fantasy. He does not like sci-fi. Yes. So for him to do a movie like this, I was already on the fence because I'm like, dude, this isn't his wheelhouse at all. Like, I don't know how he's going to do this. Is he going to make it all grounded and shit with no gods and no creatures or anything? And I was already kind of skeptical, but now I'm just kind of like,
well, let me ask you this: how many Greeks have been cast so far in this movie?
That's what I'm saying. Like Matt Damon is of Finnish descent. Right. Yeah. His grandparents are from Finland. So maybe he's going for something like she's an exotic beauty. So unlike the others, and this was his thing, but at least she doesn't play the voice of Maz Kanata, also known as Butt Eyes in The Force
Another
Awakens.
time.
But also,
character
Alan, I'm
had
pretty
butt
sure they
eyes.
looked a lot more like Matt Damon than they probably did Lupita,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I know that, you know, it's not accurate casting with
Right,
anybody here.
But I'm just saying, I think the outrage would be due if it happened in Oppenheimer versus this one.
Well,
you
hey,
know,
Well, if we
look,
actually knew it was true, we don't.
we could say that, man,
know
but you know what? I'm
officially.
getting very tired of the excuse of, you know, it's a fictional character, so why does it matter? I'm sick of that bullshit, right? Because this is Greek mythology, right?
Doesn't matter. Why change it?
If they took
But again-
African mythology and they cast a bunch of white folks, people would be
I'd
losing
be
their
pissed.
minds.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm looking it up now. Not a single Greek actor has been cast in this movie.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, these characters have descriptions, all right, which define who the character is, how other characters in the story see that particular character. So Helen of Troy has a description. It's not like Homer ever described her in his works. He described what she looked like. So if they describe what they look like, I think you got to get as close as you can get to that description of the author. Because for me, what I want to see anytime I see an adaptation of any kind, I want to see what the original author was seeing in his own mind. Like when J.R.R. Tolkien writes Lord of the Rings, I want to see, like, how would J.R.R. Tolkien's, what was going on in his mind's eye, all right, as he was writing these characters out, as he was describing this scene. That's what we, the audience, want, because obviously if it's in a novel, you use your own imagination. That's what I want to see. I want to see the author's original creation and get as close to that. If you're not going to do that, don't do it, because now you're just bastardizing it. You're just taking it apart.
Or if you're going to do it, go very different with it, right? Like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Or
Right? Like
Brother,
that-
Where Art Thou? Perfect.
Like, that's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Odyssey, but
Yeah.
told in a very different way, and it's established as a very different thing, right?
Yep.
So if
Yeah.
you're going to do that, go all the way with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah.
By the way, Sydney Sweeney has been cast as Mulan. I'm all
Okay,
for it.
I'm in.
That's all I needed.
One last news story as we wrap up here. Let me bring this up, and it relates to what we're just looking at. Is this Chris Nolan takes on the industry's troubles as DGA president? I know you've got some notes there, Badger. Check it out.
Christopher Nolan is juggling two major roles, directing the Odyssey and serving as the new president of the Directors Guild of America. In his first interview since being elected, he describes Hollywood as being in a deeply unstable moment. Nolan says consumer spending on entertainment has stayed relatively steady, yet DGA members are facing a 35% to 40% drop in employment. He sees this as a failure of modern business models, not audience interest. Possible acquisitions of Warner Brothers by Netflix or Paramount worry filmmakers and TV directors alike. Nolan says theatrical windows matter, but they are symbolic of a larger concern. Whether studios will still prioritize theatrical releases or fully fold into this streaming. With the DGA contract expiring June 30th, Nolan highlights three main priorities: protecting jobs, guarding against misuse of AI, securing health plan funding. On AI, Nolan supports licensing in principle, but insists creators must be paid. Nolan compares today's AI concerns to past battles over colorizing black and white films. For him, the issue is about protecting a director's vision from manipulation. Rather than supporting tariffs on overseas production, Nolan favors a 25% federal production rebate that could stack with state incentives to keep work in the U.S. Nolan also criticizes ad-supported streaming, noting that movies are once again being interrupted by commercials, something he says hasn't been common since the 1970s. Though Nolan won't be at the bargaining table day to day, he makes clear his stance. Innovation should not be used as an excuse to underpay workers.
What do you guys think? First of all, Chris Nolan is not on social media. You don't see him posting. He, I believe, I'm told he doesn't really have a phone. He has other people to answer phones for him. I'm sure he has a phone where he can be reached. I'm saying he's not active with a smart device. Not sure I 100% believe that, but I like kind of not knowing his take on every social media thing that comes out. He's very much in support of theaters. He's been very much against the WB Netflix merger. What are your thoughts on this? Anyone?
I mean,
I don't.
After what we just talked about, it's kind of interesting. Like, I think trying to get back to what made movies and Hollywood special it's a good idea, but like also, isn't it a little late? Like, isn't it a little late to try to like double down on this and try to get back to something that has been so far lost? Like, I don't know that you can go. I don't know that these changes or anything that he's saying here is going to help fix anything. I think the writing's on the wall. You got to kind of move to something else, because what else do you have to you? You know, people aren't going to see movies for a lot of different reasons, you know, and I don't know, man. And especially with what he's doing right now with everything like we just talked about with the Odyssey, it's like, it just rings maybe a little hollow to me, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these guys are always trying to see how much more can they squeeze out of the studios. And I need more money for my projects, but the projects aren't making money like they used to. You know, like we saw that with the last strike, and I'm starting to think another strike is coming because these guys don't seem to get it. You got to make content, and I shouldn't say content. You got to make movies and television shows that we want to watch. And you know, you gotta stop doing stuff that turns your audience off, like getting out there at award shows and, you know, talking negatively about your audience or talking negatively about anybody. Just, you know, accept your award and fuck off, like Ricky Gervais said, you know, instead of doing all this performative nonsense that we saw over at the Grammys last night. That's not going to put butts in seats. I don't know what they're thinking about, you know. And then from the standpoint of, you know, the race swaps and, you know, race swapping, you know, Helen of Troy, like this type of stuff is turning audience members and people away from Hollywood. Like he said, 40% drop in DGA fees, even though, you know, the audience spending hasn't changed. I think that's what you said, Badger. So to me, that says, okay, where's the audience moving to? They're watching social media for their entertainment. They're watching anime. They're doing everything else but going
playing video games.
Playing video games, responding with old solutions to new problems. The
audience is going to figure it out. If you guys don't want to give us the entertainment, we're going to figure it out for ourselves. We're not going to just keep going to Hollywood mindlessly just because, well, it's what we always did. You know, I'm watching more different types of content. I'm, you know, more into anime than I've ever been. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the problem. And they don't seem to have a solution other than, well, we just need more money for ourselves.
There is no solution, man. Look, they went all in on dividing their audience, right? They went all in on saying that if you don't like this, don't watch it, right? After about a decade of that, people were like, okay, your terms are acceptable.
You're right.
I'm not going to watch your shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost too late to fix anything because you've already divided the audience, and the audience that you've pissed off happen to be a lot bigger than the audience that you wanted, right? And now they're trying to bring us back. And I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah. They tried to replace us, right? They tried to replace the audience with a new audience that never showed up. That's what's funny about it. Okay.
Somebody along the line convinced these people that the long-term solution was going to be this new, younger audience, and that, you know, the currency of the realm was going to have to be, you know, being understanding of social issues and being vocal about your position and your power. And none of that was true because that person didn't have any actual sense about what the world is actually like. And now they're paying the piper for it. And it's across the industry. It's everybody, like, they all did it. So, like, there's not like a, you know, there was a massive shift and it happened so abruptly that they can't say that it didn't happen or that that's not being said.
They tried. And we have soundly rejected it. Yeah.
I mean, if he's trying to find a disconnect with the audience, like, look no further than Hollywood itself. Hollywood really did think that they were more influential and had a pull on the public than they actually do. Which is why they went all in on, you know, activism and having the and having actors speak out and talk down to the audience, saying pretty much like, if you don't like our slop that we're feeding you, then we don't want you here anyways. And, you know, what they learned is that the audience is bigger than Hollywood itself. The audience are actually the ones that are going to be giving you the money to be entertained. And when we're not entertained and we're actually actively feeling as if you're talking down to us and you're yelling at us and you're trying to preach to us, we're going to walk away. They had to find that out the hard way. And Christopher Nolan trying to see like, oh, what's the disconnect? It's Hollywood itself. Look no
Look, a
further
dude
than
in
the
his own
people that you're
movies,
hiring,
right?
the activist writers, the activist directors. It's the people in Hollywood that have been causing this huge divide between Hollywood and the audience. They've pretty much said, we are the elites. We're not going anywhere. And you are the plebs. And you are to worship us and pretty much take in and follow anything that we preach to you guys. And it's really annoying. You've been seeing audience walk away for over the last 5 years. And even like the normies, the Gen Zers started walking away. I think like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, there was like a celebrity blackout because of all of the things that were happening with the economy. And then seeing all of the celebrities over at the Met Gala and breaking all of that down and how much it costs to go to the Met Gala, while at the same time, while you are there speaking on political issues that are happening, as if like you could just not be there. It's just such a Hunger Games sort of disconnect from the audience. And so people are just not listening to them anymore and not supporting them anymore.
Well, they fucked up when they went for kids, right? I know we're getting out of here, but obviously this didn't come out of nowhere. We had the whole ESG movement. They thought they could back it with all their evil corporate master money, and it got soundly rejected. Except so now the puppet masters are gone or doing their different version of puppet mastering, and we're left with a bunch of ideologues that don't know how to write anything, and they're just... Now it's even worse because now there's no even directing force. They're all just eating. And some people have caught on. We're kind of getting good shit again, but we've decimated the entire group. And so everyone with talent is gone. And then you alienated all the audiences you thought you could replace. And we just kind of got nothing now. It's apathy.
Well,
I will just say,
real quick, the irony of Steph's statement that Steph just made and this title here for Chris Nolan. An actor in his own movie, John Leguizamo, literally just told everybody, if you don't like my politics, if you agree with this, like don't watch my movies, including the movie that he's about to be in, The Odyssey. All right. So that's the disconnect. These guys think they're gods and they're telling us what to do. And then people are saying, okay, fine, we won't go watch the movie. I'm curious to see how that's going to affect The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say the Hunger Games has never felt more real than when watching any award show in Hollywood now, as in particular, the Grammys was the worst. And you see that after Billie Eilish said it's not illegal to come here.
Nobody's illegal on stolen land.
No place is
stolen land. And then people are saying your house is on stolen land.
Yeah.
Like just
Go
point out
house,
the
lady. Conquered land. Conquered land.
Yeah,
Thank you.
well,
It's ours now.
Hey, let's wrap up and get to soups. And then Badger, you have a show to do.
Yes. Pilgrim Media for 2. ICE will win. We all will win. America will win.
Thanks, Pilgrim.
The 1 A train for 10. I was watching an episode of Starfleet for 20 minutes. Turns out it was a live stream of an ICE protest in Minneapolis.
Thanks.
Jason
Thanks.
Webster for 5. I even wouldn't have the writers group. I either wouldn't have the writers group of Starfleet Academy write the menu for the Paramount commissary. Yeah, they're
They
bad.
could write a good menu.
Andrew Cram for 10. How would you in the panel change Starfleet Academy if you were given creative control?
Well, the AI trailer that we showed a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, that
Perfect.
seemed like a great vision. Like I would use that as a sizzle. We're going to make that show. We're going to create all these characters you love. They'll be flawed, but they all strive for excellence. They care about moral and philosophical issues. They don't know everything, and they're learning the history of Starfleet. They're being taught by professors from even years past, right? Like it would be a show that would inspire people.
And they won't eat their own communicators.
Yeah, that was, oh my God, what an embarrassing character.
bro.
How did that happen?
And they didn't realize they could just teleport it out. Jason Webster for 5. I have seen 403 K dramas since 2020, and every single one of them is better, way better than Starfleet Academy.
They're great.
They know what they're doing.
K dramas out there for sure.
Great K dramas.
The 1 A train for 5. No offense to Lupita, but she is not the beauty to launch 1,000 ships.
Yeah.
Nope.
A Serious Man for 5. I'll catch y'all later. I'm pulling out a John Wayne right now. Phrasing. And it might get messy. Thanks, Chris. Award this was a blast. Catch you on the replay.
Hey, so A Serious Man. I've met him in real life at the meetup.
So did I.
Yeah, and he bought a ticket, showed up to award this, drank all night for free, stole 3 gift bags. Although I said you can take more if you want, I don't care. Had a great time, and I don't know. It was just cool that someone like, yeah, I'm gonna trust these maniacs at Film Threat, buy a ticket, and come out. So thank you, A Serious Man. Appreciate you. Safe travels.
Jason Webster for 2. Historians have eviscerated the Odyssey trailer. Oh, the costumes alone. Yeah.
You know, really quickly, I gotta say, man, like people get fucked up at award this, dude. Like they get literally like blitz, man. Like we might have to like chill out with the alcohol, dude, because people are like stumbling out of that auditorium.
People were asking about you. A lot of people was like, "Where's
I know it's my first
Dante
one.
This
the first
year?
one I ever missed.
You gotta next year.
I'll be there.
Dante,
Next year, I'll be there.
You gotta go. We already have a date. I'll announce it soon.
Bane for 10. Someone needs to do a race swapped Roots. That's said in Poland or something.
Good.
Nick Gore for 2. The Loqueesha trailer speaks to me.
Thanks, Nick Gore.
Wow. Oh, we finally know what you look like now.
My favorite of his is the Irish one, Mick Gore, and he's got the big orange. He's great. A-Rig for 12 months. Thank you for a great show. Thank you.
Well, it's not over yet because you can watch this show. Award This is going to be on in 2 hours. 2 hours.
Boom.
Nice.
Last one from Jason Webster.
Coming soon from M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. Amber Heard in Sleeping with the Enemy 2. This time she is the enemy.
That's right. And why don't we have everyone plug your channel as we wrap up? Let's go.
Yeah, go check me out, Epic Mike. I'm gonna be over on the Monday Hangover on Drunk 3PO's channel. Go check him out. And then after that, I'll be streaming on my own channel. Thanks to the panel for having me. Appreciate you guys being patient. And yeah, Wonder Man was awesome.
Thanks, Mike.
What's up, guys? Dante from Riot. Stay tuned at 5 o'clock PST. VRL will be showing, and this Friday, for the first time, I'll be on Unqualified Experts with Zia Anderson and Forrest Mommy. That is going to be a wild-ass show, so be sure to watch that Friday.
Stuff, My Nerdy Home, new shows all this week on my channel, so come and check it out. Come and hang out with me in the chat. Let's spark a conversation.
Boom.
Yo, Derek Anderson, the DA. Come hang out with me on the Nightcap Tuesdays and Thursday evenings at 10 p.m. Pacific. Also, DA's office every Sunday and daily videos. Thank you very much, guys.
Had a great time as always. You can find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies, where I chat about sci-fi, fantasy, news theories, and lore. I'm almost at 150,000 subs, so just wanted to thank you all. Appreciate everyone's support. I just released a few videos overanalyzing thanks. Overanalyzing Doom Part 3 news, including that rumored teaser trailer description. So check it out. Thanks again.
I never miss one of your videos about Dune. I love it. Thank you.
They're gonna let you down.
Badgercast coming up almost immediately. Is Bob Iger out? And then we'll talk about John Lithgow and all the dumb things he said about JK. Just what they needed. More great promos for Harry Potter.
And don't forget, check out Award This in a few hours.
5 o'clock Pacific.
The 5%. Just watch it. Be in the chat.
Go there now. In fact,
go there. Yeah, I'm in the chat already. And thank you, everyone. Alan,
they're after Badgercast.
Let's get out of here.